Morning. Welcome back to the channel. This is my nearly brand new 18-inch bar cordless chainsaw that I just got. Hence brand new. In relatively short order, I dulled the fuck out of the blade. I made some big cuts on some huge logs, testing it out. Worked great. But then I went out in the backyard, which was the reason why I bought this, was trying to cut shit that's nowhere near a plug-in, because I've got other saws that are electric, but of course require an extension cord. We had all these fucking bushes all over in the backyard growing along the fence line. They looked like holy hell. Wanted them gone. So I went out there and I need to try and cut them as close to the ground as possible. But they're also growing right next to a chain link fence, in some cases into the chain link fence. In the process of trying to cut them, I nicked the chain link fence a couple of times, which probably did not bode well for the fucking blade. But the thing that killed the blade the most, and which will ruin a chainsaw blade almost instantly, is dirt. When you got bushes out there growing, you know, they're all fucking gnarled branches. Well, they all come together down near the ground. Sediment and shit over the years builds up in there. And when you try and cut it off close to the ground, all that dirt and everything that's built up in there, your blade's cutting through it. This thing's so dull I could probably barely cut my arm off with it. Probably not gonna try, but yeah, I went out to try and cut a tree about this big around out on the ditch after cutting all the bushes down, and it just bounced off the fucking bark. I barely freaking nicked the bark. It was so goddamn dull. So I'm gonna show you how to change a chainsaw blade. It's not overly complicated, but probably the first thing you need to do is shut your saw off. In my case, not that big a deal. Mine's electric. It's got an on-off switch here. Once you let go of the trigger, after a couple of seconds, it shuts the power from the battery off and it ain't gonna run. But if you got a gas-powered one, it's gonna sit there idling. You probably ought to fucking hit the kill switch and shut it off. Because the blade turning while trying to get the blade on ain't the best practice if you want to keep your fingers. Now mine, unless you come back here and push in the safety switch and pull the trigger, it ain't gonna fucking do anything unless the earth passes through the tail of a comet and everything mechanical comes to life on its own, which is not likely. But if anybody's ever seen Maximum Overdrive, that is like the best fucking movie. I love that movie. It should have won all the Oscars. Especially the soundtrack. It is by far, hands down, the best soundtrack of any movie ever. If you don't know, it's AC/DC's Who Made Who fucking album that is that movie's soundtrack. Fucking great. Go check the movie out. And it's like, yep, hands down, best movie about trucks driving around killing people that you're ever gonna see. Actually, I think that's not even the only movie wasn't it Iron Man 2, AC/DC had an album? I don't remember what was the soundtrack to that movie. It might not have been Iron Man 2. How many Iron Mans were there? 3? I don't know. I can't keep track of the Marvel Universe. There's a lot of them. It was one of the Iron Mans that I'm pretty sure was an AC/DC album that was the soundtrack, which should have won fucking Oscar for best movie soundtrack. Probably didn't. But that has nothing to do with fucking chainsaw blades. How do you change a chainsaw blade? Well, don't need the cover on there. If you're doing it inside your shop like I am, probably want to put down some plastic. Where normally, if you're outside, it ain't gonna be a big deal. But you got that bar oil, and that shit gets all over everything, and all that oily fucking sawdust, and I don't want it all over my workbench where I'm also working on fine woodworking projects, like a wooden mason chain. All your friggin' saws should come with a tool of some kind or another. What I like about this one is its tool is embedded in the handle. So you got a tensioning screw, which on this one is right here in between the two nuts. You don't have to worry about that at the moment. And then it's got these two friggin' nuts. Hold on to the blade, onto the bar. Take them off, pull your cover off, and see, this is where the fucking mess happens. Now you can take and roll your tension back. And then it just lifts off of there. Take your blade. And now you can probably fucking send this in and get it sharpened. I'm not gonna fucking piss around. I just got a 2-pack of saw blades for 20 bucks. I don't know what it would cost to get this blade sharpened, but it's probably not gonna be worth the money. I mean, if you had like one of them chainsaws that's got like a 4-foot fucking bar on it and one blade's like $200, okay, get that sharpened. That blade is gonna miss the trash can and land on my floor. That's what I'm gonna do with that one. All right, next important thing, make sure you buy the right blade. There's gonna be, I don't know how many freaking chainsaw manufacturers they have out there, but every fucking chainsaw has a specific blade to it. This one takes an S62 blade, which means I don't know. That's just the type of blade that it freaking takes. If you buy the wrong blade, the teeth might not be going in the right direction. Some saws have auto sharpener where you pull back on a lever and it will sharpen the blade in the saw, which my 18-inch bar corded chainsaw has. This one doesn't have that feature. But it's more or less about the sprocket. The sprockets on your saws are all different. And sometimes getting these things unfucked out of the package can be just a pain in the ass. They get all looped together. Just like that. Okay. And your teeth, they have a directional cut to them. And it will only go in the saw. That'll only mesh with the spur gears properly if you put them in properly. Because your blade's going to turn like this. If you flip it around, the dowel end's going to be going the wrong way and it won't mesh with the freaking drive gears. So you just get it hung on your bar, put some tension on it, slide it in, and then pull on it and hold it in place and make sure it's all lined up with your freaking drive gear. Well, you got to hold the end out of here. Then you put your cover on. Hold on to it because the weight of the bar is going to freaking make it drop down. Then it's going to come off the spurs after you're off your drive gear. All right, once you got them on there like that, I put down a plastic bag with a black fucking, oh, there it is. Now you need to tension your blade. See how freaking loose that is? You just turn this screw and it'll have a little direction. Tighten, loosen. I'm sure there's like a chain tensioner fucking thing. I just pull it until a little bit of force and it won't come out of the groove. That may or may not be correct. And once you have a good tension on it, tighten the fuck out of these things. All right, that's all there is to changing a blade. But all your brand new blades, they're gonna stretch quite a bit right off the bat. So what you wanna do, before you go out and use it, turn your saw on and run it without cutting in anything for probably a good 2 minutes. Just sit there and hold it and let it spin for about 2 minutes. Retension your blade, go out and make a couple cuts, retension your blade. And for probably the first bit of use, you really want to make sure you're tensioning that blade regularly because that thing's going to stretch. And if you don't monitor that blade tension, it tends to fly off at you. And it can be a little freaking wonky when it comes flying off at you, but it's not that big a deal. But now I'm ready to go out and probably ruin this one by cutting too close to the ground and touching the dirt and wasting another chainsaw blade. Anyways, thanks for watching. That's how you change a chainsaw blade. Don't forget to click all them buttons, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. We'll see you next time. Bye.